So what does rejection sound like? The voice of rejection. First, let's define what the word reject really means. Because when we understand the definition of reject, we'll be able to understand some of the language the voice of rejection uses. Listen, reject means to refuse to accept. When I first started writing, we had the internet. I'm not that old, but we had the internet. But they didn't. But the protocol was still to send out query letters. We had to. They call them query letters. I don't know why they call them query letters, but you had to write a pitch via snail mail, and you had to send in that letter. You had to wait for the editor to read it and respond back to you. Right. And so I was trying to break into the writing field because I had my daughter, and I figured, well, if I don't do something now, I'm probably never going to do anything. Not that there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mother, but I didn't want to do that. I knew I had bigger things to do, but I didn't finish college because I couldn't do the math. And then I started working in my husband's business. He was a photographer for like Sports Illustrated and the NBA and stuff like that. So I would travel with him and do his admin, just having a blast, traveling all over the place. But then when I got pregnant, I couldn't travel anymore, and I realized if I don't do something, I'm going to not ever do anything. So I started sending out these query letters, and I thought they were good. And I would get what they call back rejection letters. I didn't like it. Did not please me one bit. And I kept trying, kept getting rejected, and kept trying, kept getting rejected, and kept trying, and kept getting rejected, until finally I just stopped trying. Thank God I tried one more time, and I sent a query letter to you ever see those chicken soup books, Chicken Soup for the Soul. This one was Chicken Soup for the Women's Soul, and I wrote a query letter because I had gone to Cuba in 1997, and I wrote a story about someone that I met in Cuba, and it was inspiring, and they accepted my query. I said, that's the first time. But here's the thing, and I got published in Chicken Soup for that's my first publication. But here's the thing, if we let the voice of rejection minister to us, we will always fall short of God's best plan for us. I could have stopped. Because I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. Getting all these reject. We're sorry to inform you that your idea is not good enough for our magazine. Well, I took that as I'm not good enough for your magazine. The voice of rejection. I'm sorry to tell you that, you're not qualified to write for our magazine. I took that as I'm not qualified to write at all. Right? That's the voice of rejection. But if I hadn't pressed through all those rejection letters, I wouldn't be a best-selling author today. You see how the enemy... Right? So let's talk about what I didn't like it. Did not like it. Didn't like it. I'd rip them up, burn them, send them back. Well, I don't want to write for your magazine anyway. Your magazine sucks. Well, that's what you do when someone rejects you. The voice of rejection is admitted. Well, I didn't want to go out with them anyway. Well, I didn't want to go to that party anyway. That's a stupid party. They ugly, they stupid, right? Because we respond, we reject the ones that are rejecting us because it makes us feel better about ourselves, but it doesn't really.